Welcome to the Future of Payroll and Workforce Management Insights by HR.com, your go-to resource for insights into payroll and workforce management. From navigating compliance and technology trends to exploring the latest in global payroll solutions, we're here to keep you ahead of the curve. Join us as we dive into the forces reshaping payroll and share practical strategies to optimize your workforce management. Let's get started. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Future of Payroll and Workforce Management, a podcast here at HR.com, where I am an executive community leader of Future of Payroll. I lead a few advisory boards and a few other things, but enough about me. My guest today is Deb LaMere. Hello, Deb.
Hi, good to see you. Thanks for having me today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've had a lot of great conversations in the green room. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Did I?
Yeah, yes, you did. Well done.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, score. All right. Well, Deb, you are a member of our HR Tech and Integrations Advisory Board here at HR.com, and you're also CHRO of a company called Datasite. And we have a very interesting topic today around sort of the journey to CHRO and how payroll fits into that and a few other things. But first, as I like to ask all of my guests, what is it that galvanizes you? What gets you up and fired up in the morning around the world of work?
Oh, employees, 100%. Like, it's coming to work, and how can I help to make their work life better? It's just, I'm in our New York office today, and it's mainly a sales marketing office that's here, but we have a lot of other functions. But I'll tell you, being on that floor and in the bullpen with the sales team is just like so invigorating of like, we're getting deals done, we're making it happen. And it's just, hearing their passion, their excitement about, hey, they closed another deal, or it's really fun. And so, yeah, it's the employees and how can we really like make that work experience amazing for them.
Oh, yeah. There's so much that HR can do, and human capital management can do to help employees be more successful. We could talk for hours about that. I'm thinking about learning and all sorts of things, right? We want to focus a little bit on payroll today, but I know that sort of becoming a CHRO, so little known fact or unknown fact to most of our audience members, you and I actually were both at Ceridian a long time ago at the same time. But I think our ships sailed passed in the night, maybe. So we never really met while there, but we were both at Ceridian, and that was kind of. And when we were in the green room a couple of weeks ago talking about this, I know that you had sort of a journey to get to that CHRO space, and what was that like?
Yeah, no, my journey is one that I have absolutely loved. And I wouldn't do anything differently. I started, I have a degree for both a bachelor's and a master's degree, both in business with a human resources concentration and background. My master's is in industrial relations and human resources then as well. So HR has always been a big piece for me. And it really started when I was in college and I had internships. And my first job out of college was working for a line of health system in Minneapolis. And it was really doing payroll and benefits, answering the phone. HR Service Center, this is Deb. How can I help you? And you had, the official time card was there even too. So like you're looking at, a nurse putting down chicken scratch and everything too. Like we're going to have this and the shift diff and everything else. And so like it was such a learning experience though. And that's where I would say I would never change it because I learned everything in that just, I was in the call center job for about 6 months, and then I moved into I went into benefits for almost 5 years, where I was a health and welfare specialist, really helping get really digging deeper into benefits, partnering with payroll, partnering with the other pieces, and during that time, that's when I was getting my master's degree then as well. And became a benefit analyst, where I was analyzing the plans and building out, what the future of healthcare was going to look like for the nurses because at that time it was the Minnesota Nurses Association, and so it's a big hot topic with nurses out there is that understanding benefits and what we give to them. So what I loved about having this background of a payroll benefits piece is that when I moved into, um, had this amazing opportunity to become an HR generalist and support the corporate offices as well as a small hospital. It gave me this opportunity to really like already have this background about what is it that employees care about the most. And like when you think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that it's about that, meeting the basic needs, which is about payroll and benefits and all those things. So as I continued in my career and then eventually went over into high tech, working in global. I've been in high tech now since 2008. Worked at Lawson Software as an HR business partner, supporting sales and services for one of our bigger industries that they had out of that. And then just at one point, I had a general manager who was at Lawson who had moved to Ceridian and got to be an HR person working for an HR technology company, which was really fun. And Ceridian at that point in time was really coming up into this. They had the core HR payroll benefits that were there, but then from that point, it's the talent platform. So again, we've met the basic needs. So how do we take those even further? And excuse me, it was a really exciting moment of then I actually pivoted into the product team.
Mm.
And so left HR, and then I got to build HR tools for HR people. And that was really, really fun. Be able to talk about that, hear what was top of mind with HR leaders. How can we build tools to help support their processes? I'm mainly focused on the employee engagement platform that's there, and they're selling it today, and it's beautiful. And I loved that job, but when this opportunity to become a CHRO came through, in terms of I could take all the learnings from all the amazing HR leaders that I've worked for, as well as the general managers, to take all of that opportunity and come and bring it to a company that was, it was had a transformational journey. I started almost 6 years ago now, but 600 employees at the time, and it's just been in a great growth. And to be the CHRO, to see this growth, and to take all of that experience has been an awesome, awesome opportunity.
That's a phenomenal story, and it's really inspiring to hear. And your path to CHRO, really, you hit most of the bases. You have like a really good background to be a CHRO in terms of the nuts and bolts,
Hmm.
and and the technology piece of it, understanding just the granularities of day-to-day workflow of HR and all this kind of stuff. So you came into it really prepared. I'm wondering if there's probably several different pathways to becoming a CHRO, and maybe not everybody has that breadth of sort of hands-on knowledge going into the role. And one of the things we want to talk about is how payroll is often
Hmm.
an area of least proficiency
Hmm.
for a CHRO.
Yep.
Um, and how does that fit into the picture? Like, what would your advice be to, say, a CHRO that's getting into the role, maybe doesn't know much about payroll, or maybe is a
Yep.
little bit concerned? This is the piece that I'm not quite sure about. What's your sort of take on all that?
Yeah, I mean, like, payroll is an interesting one where it can live in a couple of different areas within an organization. But at the end of the day, HR plays a huge, huge role in payroll, whether they own it or whether, like, finance is a typical place as well where payroll may end up. And there's a huge partnership from that too. So, like, from a CHRO's perspective, coming into the role, it's just understanding kind of the background. How do people get paid? And, like, as I've mentioned before, like, pay is the first piece that you got to get right for employees. And
Mm.
so it means you've got to have the right tool, technology to do that. Listen to the employees, find out, you know, are there a lot of errors in the payroll? Ensuring that, if people aren't, if people aren't happy that, if they're not getting paid, like say there's a payroll error and it's happening frequently, like that adds to, lower employee engagement, distrust. They're not gonna like if you want to do all these other cool things like career progression, manager essentials, all the things that employees want to have though too. Um, those cool things won't really get a lot of focus and attention if you're not meeting that basic need, and one of those basic needs is getting paid and getting paid right. So, my advice to that CHRO coming in is like understanding when you're looking at engagement, where does it all begin? And ensuring that, the payroll benefits, all those pieces are there. And then, taking a look at this payroll system that you have and how are you processing payroll, ensuring that you have the most efficient way to do it that also provides the most accuracy along with it then too.
Does a CHRO need to really understand like all the granularities of what it takes to process payroll to be effective as a leader when it comes to the payroll piece of the process?
That's a great question. Having a high level understanding, I think one of the funniest things I had one of my former bosses had said to me when I was reporting to the chief financial officer. He had actually said, as long as you're keeping me out of jail, I'm good to go. And I was like, okay. So, I mean, it's again, there are a lot of legislation pieces out there, and you don't need to know everything. You can't know everything, and so it's one surrounding yourself with, the subject matter experts that are on your team from a payroll perspective, but two, it's also getting a payroll provider who's going to help you then as well understand those pieces. Like if you're moving into new countries and you're having to set up payroll, that they're there to help advise you and your subject matter expert as well in terms of making sure you're getting that payroll set up correctly and accurately then too.
Now, this is actually a good segue because I know that kind of getting into the weeds here, or getting into the thick of it, maybe not the weeds, but the thick of it, right?
Hmm.
Is that I know that you folks at Datasite, maybe you could first tell us a little bit about what Datasite is all about, the company, and then maybe just share a little bit with us around. I know you're going through a major operational retooling of payroll right now.
Yeah, sure. So, I Datasite is a SaaS provider for the M&A industry, so merger and acquisition industry. We empower deal makers around the world with tools that they need to succeed in their entire deal life cycle. We're fast growing technology with close to 2,000 people, where we've grown in organically and organically over these last 6 years. We are actually formerly a financial print business, but it's a highly competitive market for talent. Attracting and retaining our talent is our top priority. And really, to be successful, Datasite, must not only provide competitive benefits and all those things, but we also want to make sure that, you know, that we're giving a workplace that people can feel that they're valued, connected, that, we've got the tools that are there. So, we're working on on deals, making the maker's life better, but, making sure we've got our own tools that we're using then as well.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting.
Yep. And then,
How
yeah,
is
and
that
then to
techno?
that point, then too,
Oh
is
yeah.
that, we've been going through, as we've grown globally as an organization, your HCM needs to grow with you, as does your payroll providers, then too. And so we've been through really that moment of when I got here, what was our payroll, taking a look at it, and then seeing where we needed to make some operational efficiency choices and changes, and too. And so we've been going through a payroll optimization with all the countries that we're in, ensuring that we're all on the same payroll, just making sure that we're in the same payroll provider, one that's
Mm,
who's a great partner as we move through those things then as well.
mm, mm. Interesting stuff. So really a technological journey there.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. If you were to sort of, swooping out of here a little bit again,
Hmm.
so some of the other challenges, if you were to sort of, aside from payroll,
Yep.
what are a couple of other, big challenges that you would share with somebody who's maybe as a newly appointed CHRO? Like, what are two big challenges you would maybe, say, hey, be on the lookout for this, and here's what you can do.
Oh, really good question on that. I think coming into the role, I don't say it's a challenge. It's listen, like spend that time. Don't come in with preconceived notions of certain things, like, or you're going to change the world and all that. Listen to what the employees want, need, what's working. Hear what's not working. Take those moments to really listen to not only employees but also to the to the leaders then as well. My biggest piece of what I do when I come into an organization is understanding the organization. What are the goals? What are the priorities? I am in HR, but I'm also here to help the business succeed. And if I don't understand how the business actually works, then how do I recruit the right talent for it? How do I tell the right story out in the marketplace? How do I do those things? So I think, if it's kind of a twofold piece in there, that it's a listening communication for one thing, like just listening, getting that, like seeking to understand. But then it's also then building your plan from that then too. Because there are things when you walk into an organization that are working well. And how do you make sure you maintain that and build that up? And I think it's again also, I think the other kind of like maybe advice, not necessarily challenge, would be too that once you kind of have some of those ideas, ensuring that the senior leadership is on board with you,
Yeah.
that you've got their support and backing. And I would say that, the best part about for all the companies that I've worked for, I have been super fortunate to, and particularly at Datasite then as well, but have CEOs who value employee engagement, who
Mm.
know that their number one resource is their employees. And so when you've got that support and backing for those moments, like that's the piece that I think is really important for when, a new CHRO is coming in and starts to have these initiatives and you've got the senior support that's behind it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a real testament, sort of, to the evolution of the CHRO role,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
didn't always exist, and now it does, and it's a mainstay, and it's really
Yeah.
important. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Deb, for being on the
Yeah.
podcast. This has been really illuminating for our audience.
Oh, just a pleasure. No, all of this, and it's, I'd love to be able to share my journey, and then, all HR people are out there, and it's not recreating the wheel. It's how do we get together as a community and learn from one another, and I'm always happy to be able to share that. Absolutely. So thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in to the Future of Workforce Management and Payroll Insights by HR.com. We hope today's episode brought you valuable insights and fresh perspectives on the future of payroll and workforce management. Be sure to check out more episodes and explore resources at HR.com/podcast or wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next time, keep innovating and making a difference in the world of payroll and workforce management.